Week 4 is done. It's in the books.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these lines, when we looked at them with you guys on Wednesday, Thursday, I saw a lot of potential. I'm going to be honest with you guys. And college football, it would appear, came for me this past weekend because I did not do great. And because myself and Brandon have been pretty much conflicting on all of our picks for the last few weeks, Brandon coincidentally had a phenomenal weekend. So let's give a round of applause. Brandon,
Thank you.
hell of a weekend with your picks. I think
Thank
we went
you.
like 7-1 potentially from what we went over last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, especially considering you sat out on a couple of things, which I think was the right move.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to start with the big one, and I think it's fresh in my mind. I just want to talk about it a little bit. Auburn at Oklahoma. This game reminded me a lot of when Will Howard came to Penn State last year.
Yeah.
Kind of talked a little bit of trash. That was a little bit different, obviously. Talked a little bit of trash about how Penn State didn't accept him. And now he gets his revenge game. Jackson Arnold was apparently met with boos when he entered the stadium. So I was very much hyped for this game. I loved the +6.5. Actually, it was even better. It moved to +7 come game time, which we can talk about at the end. And so I was real happy. I was in a great position. I think what are things that stood out to me most? I think Auburn defense is very underrated, especially that front seven. That front seven is actually really, really good. And this is an Oklahoma team that is a rushing monster. Not to say that they didn't also get the yards eventually. John Mateer kind of took over in the fourth quarter, specifically in the fourth quarter. Why is that important? Heisman. This confirms his Heisman candidacy for me. We sat here with you guys last week. We said that he's, in our opinion, we think he's a Heisman favorite. And this week he solidified it. The safety at the end, a little shenanigans. Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations to everyone who took Oklahoma -6.5. I am standing here still. I'm upset on myself, obviously, for going against the Heisman favorite, who I would contend is the Heisman favorite. But here we are. I think he had a great game. I think Oklahoma showed a lot of grit. Their defense really never faltered. There was a few big plays. Eric Singleton looked good. There was a short pass to him that he ended up going for 20, 30 extra yards after. I think Auburn has all of the pieces. They had a couple of calls. I don't want to go into the calls. I don't want to go into the hyper specifics of which one, what direction, and whatever, because that's more in the gambling. I don't really care. As a program, I think Oklahoma is shifting the perception that the public will take on them. Whether you want to talk about it with respect to gambling or with respect to their view in the SEC, Oklahoma has now officially become a powerhouse, whether you like it or not. John Mateer will win a game single-handedly, time and time again.
He looks so good. He looks good. I mean, yeah, like you said, the fourth quarter is when he really came out and killed it. I believe the Oklahoma defense had 10 sacks, I think, on Jackson Arnold.
It was disgusting. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
I think it was 4 in the fourth, or 4 or 5 in the fourth alone.
Yeah.
And one of them for that safety. That safety will go down in infamy. That's people who were watching the game. Again, I looked out at the +7. What else did you see in the game? I mean, how do you feel about Auburn? Truly. Stepping away from this, Hugh Freeze, I think play calling wasn't terrible. It's just Jackson Arnold couldn't produce. It looked like he was scared. He was playing scared. Didn't have as much poise as I wanted to see from him. I don't know. What did you see in Auburn?
Their defense, I thought they did a good job. The offense, that's kind of what was lacking, I think. I probably have to agree with you. I think Jackson Arnold was a little, bamboozled a bit in your old home stadium, and that's a lot going on.
That's a lot to ask.
Apparently they like we talked about last episode, him and Mateer know each other from back in high school, so I'm sure that added to it. But yeah, that game was a fun game to watch. I'm not gonna lie, I did have my eyes more so on the other 3:30 game, which we'll get into in a bit. But yeah, Auburn didn't look bad. It was one of those things where Jackson Arnold just kind of didn't live up to that, day. John Mateer did. Oklahoma and John Mateer did. They look great all around. I mean, they're fun to watch. That's a good team. That's a damn near Yeah, they should make a run.
They
I
should
mean,
make a run. They should make a
they
run.
should make a run. Yeah.
And with that defense, it should be easy. The path to the
Yep.
playoffs is no problem for them. Um,
Hmm.
this can be a scary team. It's gonna be a scary team in the postseason. Next game. Ugh. This one was rough. This one was really rough to watch, especially if you were rooting for Utah.
Mm.
Such a weird game. Texas Tech is the underdog here. And at no point in the game did I ever feel like Utah was the favorite. At no point in the game. Utah failed, as they do, time and time again. I was reminded this game about Utah. Let me tell you. Same thing happens every season. They have an excellent, excellent defense. And this year, it just so happened that they had just enough offense against just the right competition to lead the public to believe that they have a competent offense. I don't want to say Devin Dampier had a bad day, but I think that maybe the play calling wasn't geared towards creating big plays. I think they relied way too heavily on the outside sweep of their running back and Devin Dampier reading the inside tackles to see if he can get chunk yardage. And the reliance on that kind of that sweep option killed any chance of getting into third and manageable for Utah. And so they were stuck with third and longs more often than not that they just couldn't convert on. Because guess what? Also, what I learned this weekend is Texas Tech defense is
insane.
Good.
It's insane.
Now, Texas Tech is following the same recipe as what all the big schools are doing, which is going out into the portal and spending your money wisely, going for talent that has produced at lower levels, knowing that they can also produce at the highest of levels. And guess what? Texas Tech looked good. They look good with their backup quarterback. Their starting quarterback, Baron Morton, who has crazy start to the season, 11 touchdowns, 1 interception. Those 2 interceptions in the first half. Utah defense, you're still there. I mean, Utah, oh my gosh. It is a heartbreaker for Utah fans. What'd you see this game?
They really looked great. They looked really great. I mean, so far up to this point, Utah looked really great. Everybody was excited about them. The hype was there, promising. And then Texas Tech, they had a lot of noise this offseason. It looks like it worked out. Their defense looks insane. Like you said, they lost their starting quarterback, but still pulled off the W. It seems like Texas Tech was dominant that entire game. You know?
At no point did I feel like Utah had a chance here.
And I feel like this is not as much a knock to Utah as more so it's a kudos to Texas Tech. I think they're the favorite out the Big 12. I think they're the best team in the Big 12. Because you look around the rest of the Big 12, and I was noticing this when I was watching the Baylor-Auburn game last night. I mean, I really don't see, but probably Utah, I guess.
Baylor, Arizona State.
Other than that, Baylor, Arizona State, excuse me. But when I was watching that game, I came to realize I was like, this conference as a whole just really doesn't have that much defense, it seems like. Or maybe the teams within that just can't stop those teams' offense. But Texas Tech, I mean, they got it. They got it.
No, Big 12 is going to run through Texas Tech this season. That's the gauntlet has been laid, and I'm really excited for the record for Texas Tech. They've had some notable alumni that are doing pretty good in the NFL.
Yeah.
Although it depends how you feel how Patrick Mahomes is doing this season. I do want to reiterate that this is big for Texas Tech. I am very impressed with that defense. The offense still producing with the backup, arguably even better. That shows depth. That shows offensive coordination at its peak because you're on the road in a very hostile environment. It's a tiny stadium, but is one of the loudest in the country. It's one of the rowdiest. And honestly, even when they're down 3 scores, the stadium was still full. I think Utah has a very loyal fan base, which is why my heart breaks out for you guys. Real unfortunate game. It's not to say Utah can't come back. The Big 12 is not anything. I don't think there's too many powerhouses in the Big 12, so you still have a chance towards the end of the season. Who knows how things play out? Tulane at Ole Miss. I think this was one of the games that we both agreed on. I think at the time of our recording, the line was down to minus 10.5. And then it was so weird. I think it was because the availability of Austin Simmons and not, it kept going back and forth. The line kept jumping 3 points back and forth, even up through the hours leading up to the game. So I just grabbed it at, I think, 11.5 or something like that. I was really confident about this because I love Lane Kiffin, the idea that he loves running up the score, and especially if people, I saw that Stanford Steve also had publicly picked Tulane to at least cover.
Tulane?
Yeah. So,
man.
I mean, I like that old, Lane Kiffin, he takes that stuff personally. I know his personality, and he runs that mentality through the locker room. And I knew exactly. I mean, we got exactly what we predicted here. John Summerall 0-3, now 0-4 against SEC teams in his 10 years as head coach. Still a great head coach. Don't get me wrong. Jake Retzloff played awfully. Offensive play calling, not the best either. But Jake Retzloff looked really bad. So a week after we just gave him, or was it 2 weeks after we gave him Player of the Week, Sleeper Player of the Week. Talk to me. What'd you see in this game? I know Chambly, you're a big fan of him. Is it Chambliss or Chambly? I don't know.
Chambliss.
Okay.
Chambliss. Yeah. It was one of those things where I kind of, the minute I saw them put up the first points on the board, I was like, oh, this probably is going to be a long day for the, Tulane defense. Like you were saying, Lane Kiffin's going to do his thing. He's going to run up the score, which is what he did. What's it called? I also was keeping in mind the whole time that he did say that he thinks John Summerall is going to be an SEC coach next year. So I'm sure that he, wanted to give him a nice welcoming to the, conference. But yeah, it was one of those things where Ole Miss just dominated. I mean, they're just the SEC team. They're a better team. Trinidad had another good week. Ole Miss just had it in the bag from the beginting, I think.
Yeah, I think
it was
maybe some shenanigans in the first, but just they ran away with it real quick. Yeah. And at no point did Tulane stand a chance covering that spread. Wow. I'm gonna get comfortable here because I don't want to. I know I really waited until the last second on this one for that 3:30 slot. Okay, Michigan at Nebraska. I want you to start. Tell me what you saw this game.
What did I see this game? I thought Bryce Underwood looked more comfortable. I thought they stuck more to their identity than they did against the Central Michigan game. They definitely ran the ball a lot of bubble screens. Justice Haynes looks legit. He looks like a top 3 back in the country. I really don't know who else competes with him, but I think he has 600 rushing yards on the year, 6 touchdowns, 8 yards a carry, something ridiculous like that. Michigan's defense looked good, but they did play sloppy. That touchdown at the end of the half, that was big. They also had 2 touchdowns, I want to say, that they should have had near the end of the first quarter, where they had one that was like a trick play where the wide receiver, it was a double pass. The wide receiver had a guy wide open in the end zone, missed it, underthrew it. And then Bryce Underwood threw up a nice little lofted, lob in the end zone. Same thing, but it was just a Bryce Underwood throw, and the wide receiver wasn't able to secure it. Michigan should have won by more. It was a sloppy win, but they looked good. Bryce Underwood continues to improve and looks great. Biff Poggi was great too. That was fun. But yeah, I thought Michigan looked good. I do think they need to clean up a couple things, but overall it was a good game for them.
Yeah, I think Michigan, they did look great. I think the score is not even close to indicative of how that game played out. Okay, real quick, Nebraska side, Dylan Raiola, I still think he looks really good. He did have he had some explosive, some fun plays. Looked a little Mahomey. Had a few points.
He did.
It's kind of trippy. Some of the plays, I don't know, is he doing it on purpose?
I don't know. But he looked good. He did look good as well.
Okay, Justice Haynes, he looked really good. He looks like an elite back. I would even make the argument that he's the best running back in the Big Ten. Now, that does put him higher than Katron and Nick Singleton, both the backs at Penn State, and I do truly believe that. I think he looked really good here. He looks good out of the backfield, too, as a receiver. I think Michigan, I don't know what's going on with that running back room, but it seems like year after year, they always have depth, and they always have very solid running backs. Usually their starter is probably top 10 in the country.
Hmm.
Also, Bryce Underwood, I love how he played. He that first drive where he kind of set the tone, he had that 20-yard rushing touchdown. That was really, in my opinion, stuff like that takes the air out of the stadium. You know, Nebraska. Nebraska, they tout that they have the longest streak of sellout in the entire country. And you take the air out of the stadium, it helps a lot. You know, especially with a
Yep.
young quarterback on the road, hostile environment. And not to say Nebraska didn't put up a fight, but let's be honest with each other. The Hail Mary at the end of the first half, they had a couple of penalties, give them first downs, pass interferences. Again, I don't want to get into the specifics, but Nebraska had all the help in the world this game, and they still could not close the deal. So
Yep.
the conversation always ends up rotating back to the same thing. Matt Rule. You're in your third year. You had all your weapons. You have your best coordinators. You've been working the off season for this moment. This was the spotlight. Prime time. Not prime time, but, you know, all eyes were on this game. All eyes were on this game. And he couldn't deliver. And,
Nope.
I've spoken the off season about how Matt Rule has been unable to deliver. And it could be in part due to the fact that he hasn't reached his third year, hadn't developed to the point. But we're here in year 3. And you're still failing. So good luck getting to 500 this year, Coach. It's been an absolute pleasure. By the way, if he doesn't get to 500, he's 100% out. There's a chance, even if he finishes 6-6, he's out too. There's a chance.
I mean, the amount of hype that they've been putting on themselves since he arrived is,
Also, another program that deserves more love. Nebraska is like a storied program. Like, they should be up there with the elites. And they have been down in the gutter for way too long. I know Nick Frost... was it Scott Frost? It was Scott Frost, right?
Scott Frost.
Yeah. I know Scott Frost kind of brought some bad juju with him after that UCF year. And I feel like they need to get out of that rut. In my opinion, I think it's time to maybe reevaluate the coaching staff, especially the one that specifically said by year 3 we'll get it done. So, again, really sorry for the Nebraska fan base. My heart goes out to you guys. A team that I wholeheartedly backed that game. But, again, couldn't get it closed. No knock on Michigan. They look good. I mean, that offensive line looked good. Granted, Nebraska's D-line is not as good as it was last year. But, I mean, they won in the trenches and they won pretty hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Another game that I was on the wrong end of, Florida at Miami. So Carson Beck, I think this game had weird attached to it all over. I mean, there was weather issues. It was pouring rain. I think there was delays. There was all sorts of stuff happened in this game. Momentum shifts back and forth. I mean, really, it's week after week, and we're having the same exact conversation. What is DJ Lagway doing?
I don't think he's ready.
What is it offensively? Is it a coordinator issue where there's not cohesion and he's not able to? Because there is timing issues. There's placement issues. I mean, these are like fundamental passing issues, and he's not overcoming them week after week. And it's not to say that the opponents that he's playing is easy and it's going to be give-me's, but this does not look good. That one drive that they got a touchdown off late in the third, I believe it was, also gifted to them through a couple of penalties. Yeah. And I'm wondering, how coincidental. We just talked about Matt Rule, and now the conversation is going to shift back to Billy Napier. Mm-hmm. So what's going on with Billy Napier? Can you talk to me about this game?
I don't know. Florida's defense played great? Did they not?
I mean,
did Carson Beck not have his toughest opponent?
They did what they were supposed to do, as they have done week after week. It's the biggest squander of the elite SEC defense I've ever seen. It's so heartbreaking to watch. It is so heartbreaking to watch.
Because they really are doing it all. I mean, their offense can't stay on the field for the life of them.
They're still giving up some big plays here and there, but they're still not giving up points. They refuse to give it. They're so stingy.
They're very stingy. It was, dude, like Carson didn't I feel like Miami won that game because of the time of possession. That was the whole reason.
Yeah, really, truly. I mean, that last drive at the end, similar to Michigan, they both had championship drives at the end.
Yeah.
Time of possession on the final drives was like 8-9 minutes for Miami, where they scored a touchdown. It is just killer. That defeats any ability for your team. And then right on the next possession, DJ Lagway, it's a 4-and-out. They start. I mean, and at that point, you're just running up the score.
I mean, he took care of the ball better, but I think that was,
Slightly.
coming off a 5-pick. Yeah. Coming off of 5 picks, I'm sure he's, a little fucking
It did
more
feel
cautious.
like he was way more cautious on his throws that he rolled out. Anytime he left the pocket, he was more willing to take the sack. And as a result, Miami defense stat padded against them. They looked really good. It's again, we're here another week, another Miami defense domination. So Miami, is that what they're going to have going forward? Is Miami defense going to be like I
think so. I think that's going to be the thing that seals games for them, to be honest.
There's going to be games where they're going to need defense to win, and they're not going to be able to produce on offense. It's going to happen. They're going to come against better opponents. I don't know.
Next week's a good one for them.
It's going to be
Florida State.
It is Florida State. Is that this week?
Yep.
Oh boy. Also, the same week we're going up for the Penn State Oregon game, but we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do this last game, which I think was your only loss out of the big games. Illinois at Indiana. What the hell happened? The injuries. I found out about the injuries late. I had already put the bat in, which is okay. I mean, I don't mind that. I actually kind of like it when I hear there's injuries on the team I put money on, because usually it means the other team is...
You got to fight through adversity?
Yeah, you got to... I feel like it gives you that edge. It's like, oh, you never know, dude. You never know what gets these kids, like, more hype.
No, it's true.
Yeah, you never know. Like, they want to play against that adversity, so I figure, like... and also, usually it means there's more money on the other team. Like, everyone's going to be rooting for the other team. So I really liked Illinois in this spot. And then I just saw the inability to produce on offense, which could have been, frankly, they were losing the line of scrimmage really bad on offense. They were, I mean, Luke Altmaier was under pressure endlessly, nonstop. And then when he was able to roll out or sneak out a pass, the gain was always very minimal. It seemed like he was afraid to throw downfield. It could be, I need to take a second look at game film and see how Indiana played. Maybe they were more elite in the secondary than I remember. And then you have Fernando Mendoza, who actually looks pretty good in this offense, actually.
Yep.
He fits well. Yep. I did not expect this. This is something I'm willing to say. I did not expect this level of play from this kid.
This domination. No.
I did not expect it.
21 for 23.
I mean, those numbers, they don't lie. I mean, Illinois defense, you can have people out. I understand that, but that doesn't mean they don't have depth. Illinois is known for their defense. That's it.
It was that game took me by surprise, man. Like, I knew that Illinois had the injuries, but I wasn't expecting a complete blowout.
You know, this happened last year. This did happen last year too, for the record.
Yeah.
And I think that you and I both have kind of not taken the respect for Kurt Cignetti's name that I feel like maybe might be more deserved.
Maybe. And
we'll see. Truly what I need to see I need to see competition at the highest level. And it's the same reason I don't have respect for James Franklin. You don't have competition at the highest level. I don't care what you're doing at the low levels. If you cannot compete at the highest level, what is this? And I'm talking about compete. That means winning also, you know? Rough game for Illinois. I feel bad. They did have the injuries, but the team, defense crumbled.
There were some rough games out there.
Indiana looked sharp. Indiana looked real sharp on offense. They looked like they came out with a purpose. They wanted to dominate. And Illinois just happened to be on the back end of it. And that's okay. I still loved watching the game. It was still fun to watch. My mouth was open on half the plays. I could not believe how bad the gaps were on defense. I couldn't believe the mismatches, the blown coverages. So many blown coverages. You never expect that. I saw a lot of blown coverages from Michigan, by the way, this weekend too. We'll talk about that. I know. That's okay. They won on offense. Sometimes that's what you need. Okay, the two last ones that we went through, I should have known it was going to be a bad weekend for me off of that Rutgers game to start the weekend. Rutgers kind of collapsed a little bit in the fourth there. The game ended up being a shootout.
Yeah.
It ended up being
It was going back and forth.
It was
Rutgers
fun.
looked better.
Oh my God.
Rutgers looked better.
Yeah,
Like,
Iowa
the whole
getting the
time, pretty
kickoff for a
much, and then
touchdown.
that fourth quarter.
Yeah, off rip, getting the touchdown, taking the momentum. I really thought Rutgers kept it. They kept it close until they didn't.
Kaliakmanis, that's how you pronounce it, right?
Kaliakmanis, yeah, Ethan Kaliakmanis.
Looked great.
He looked
He
good.
looked great.
He did what he was supposed to do.
Yeah, fourth quarter.
But
Yeah,
Rutgers defense couldn't hold Iowa.
No.
Iowa. So
Yeah.
congratulations, Iowa. I mean, I forgot.
Congratulations, Mark Gronowski.
Yeah, Mark Gronowski. Big win on the road. Congratulations,
Seriously,
Iowa.
that's huge.
Huge win. Okay, and then one of the later games, South Carolina at Missouri. The line being as accurate as it was, believe it or not, I took it minus 9.5 from Missouri. So super bummer.
Wow.
But this game was interesting. Actually, I want to say South Carolina put up a fight. I don't feel like South Carolina looked that bad here. I think they actually look good. There was some offensive plays. The only thing that really concerned me is their offensive line. Their offensive line looks really bad. That's it. But they're
Lenore Sellers is like always under pressure.
Yeah, always under pressure. Nick Harper looked great. I mean, he had some crazy catches. They had some sideline catches. Lenore Sellers still showed some flashes of serious talent. I mean, Missouri was just the better team here. They were better on special teams, and they were, I mean, in the trenches for sure. South Carolina offensive line. I remember, there was a comment a couple of weeks ago. This guy commented, he said, the only thing holding South Carolina back is their offensive line. And that was after the Virginia Tech game. And I asked him, I said, like, what game?
That really is what it seems like.
Yeah. And I asked him, I said, what game are you pointing at that you feel like they might get exposed? And he pointed at this game. He responded back. It's in the comments. Go take a look at the videos. No, Missouri looked good.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, they look good on defense. Again, they gave up a couple of big plays that I think they were just out-talented on. I love that Missouri is competitive again in the SEC. Congratulations, Missouri. At the hands of Bo Perbula, too, former Penn State quarterback who...
Let's go.
What's it called? Joel Klatt says there's like Missouri won the trade. That's what happened here. Missouri won the trade. We're now in the era of the transfer portal.
NIL. Yeah, it's
and
pretty much a
NIL.
trade.
Missouri officially has found the better quarterback, and Penn State chose what they might think. I mean, what I might believe. And again, before you guys come at me, what I believe might be the better quarterback out of the two. But you guys know my affinity towards running quarterbacks. It is what it is. Bo Perbula, big win also. Let's give a round of applause. Bo Perbula, hell of a win at home. Actually, a big win. He did great. He really did do great.
He did great. A lot of good decisions. Knew when to take off. Knew when to make the right throws. They have a great offense around them. Missouri looks great.
Missouri does look great. They look really great. I'm hoping. This happened last year, too. I'm hoping that they continue that and they don't get shelled out by, like, Texas A&M again.
Yeah.
I think that wrapped up all the picks that we had. I want to quickly go through who's your sleeper.
There were a couple other games, too. I mean, if you don't mind.
No, please.
Can I literally just super fast.
Do it.
Like that the Baylor-Arizona State game.
I need to watch it. I didn't get a chance to watch it.
That was great. Sawyer Robertson looked great the entire game. The Baylor offense looked good. They had a couple turnovers. I think they lost a turnover battle 3-0. Sam Levitt came out. Arizona State fourth quarter. They had a great fourth quarter. Jordan Tyson was getting targeted left and right. End up winning on a field goal. Oh, the USC Michigan State one. USC's offense, I think they might have the best offense in the league.
They look
defense.
Okay, whoa. Who's their head coach?
That's what I was going to say. That's literally where I was going.
They have the best offensive play caller in the league. I'm willing to admit.
And the skill players look insane.
And they look good on the ground. And they look good on the ground, which is something that's not very characteristic of Lincoln Riley. So very, very happy for him.
They asked him after the game. They said, you ran. I forgot the exact quote, but they were like, you ran the ball more than you passed it. That's not common for you guys. Like, what went into that? He goes, oh, we love that. That's what we love to do. We love running the ball.
Yeah.
I was like, get the.
Yeah, what are you talking about? You never run the ball. Caleb
yeah, it was so funny. Dude, we got to talk about this.
What?
The Syracuse-Clemson game.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Even though we didn't put it, like, we didn't talk about that in the preview.
What happened, Clemson?
Yeah.
You know, Dabo came out in the post. He came in that post-game conference, and he was like, I'm out here fighting my tail off week after week. I want this job, like all this stuff. I don't know what happened to Dabo here. I'm curious to see like
I don't know.
mean this looked like a thrashing. To me this looked like a thrashing. Like Syracuse was dominating the whole game. The entire game.
Syracuse was dominating.
Time of possession wasn't even close. I haven't checked the stats at all.
They had the better
promise.
quarterback.
They had the better quarterback. Clemson.
It was crazy. Yeah, Clemson. I don't know what it is. I think that
Clemson.
this season's definitely a wash. As far as Dabo goes, I don't think you can fire him mid-season.
No,
if
you
were
won't.
to make
He
that
won't.
move.
It's
You
so
can't do
disrespectful.
that.
It's so disrespectful.
I don't even
for
think
him.
you can. I don't even think you can fire him this offseason, to be honest. Like I think he has to go through one more year, and then maybe next year, if it's bad, then you can fire him a couple games into the year. But you gotta,
Yeah.
He's done so much. He's been with the program for 25 years. He's been a head coach there since 2009. Yeah, 2009. So.
Crazy game for SMU and TCU also. TCU's like kind of pulling away that one. I saw that Kevin Jennings, by the way, had a spectacular game. And I was telling all my friends while I was watching, I was like, if anything, if they win this game, it will be exclusively at the hands of Kevin Jennings. Again, had a great game. The SMU defense has been the problem all year. Sawyer Robertson sliced and diced them when Baylor came to visit too. I mean, it's just that defense looks bad. The secondary looks awful. So I don't know if they will have the same contention for the ACC title as they had last year. Probably not, but still fun, super exciting team to watch.
Yeah.
Arkansas, Memphis. Did you watch that game?
Dude,
Crazy.
I caught the
Crazy
end of
ending of
it.
the
I
game.
caught the end of it.
Crazy
Yeah,
ending of the game.
that's literally how they lost against
Arkansas.
Ole Miss,
I was
too.
writing Arkansas. I
They
really
lost
thought,
against
and
Ole
they were
Miss
winning the whole game.
same
What is
way.
happening at Memphis? What is happening? What is happening?
That was really bad. That was really
It's Sam
bad.
Pittman.
I couldn't believe it.
It's Sam
I
Pittman.
couldn't believe it.
I'm really worried. I was really worried about the play calling towards the end because they basically they did the same thing that most teams in college do when they have a big enough lead in the fourth, which is just run, and then maybe if you want, you could run pass. I mean, they tried a couple play actions too. Nothing came through it, and then you just gave a bunch of possessions to a team that is going to use those possessions to get up points. I mean, they lost. For me, it felt like they weren't as aggressive as Arkansas played in the first three quarters. Should have been as aggressive in the fourth. They slowed down the throttle a little bit. Again, this is not a knock on Memphis. Memphis played great. They always play great. Memphis is known for their offense. Penn State played against them a few years back for a bowl game for one of the New Year's Six. That was a fun game to watch. And Memphis, that's just what they have. They always have offense. Crazy win for Memphis.
Insane.
I don't know.
It was a crazy weekend.
I think
it was a crazy weekend.
It was a crazy weekend. Upsets, if you want to call them. No, it was a really fun. Even the late night games. A lot of late night games were fun to watch too. I mean, I passed out halfway through. That USC game, but caught the rest of the game this morning. Awesome USC. That offense looks incredible. So fun to watch and so unique.
They're so fun.
Them and Florida State. For them, those are the two teams I love watching on offense.
Yeah.
Do you have
Florida
a sleeper player? Do you have a sleeper player of the week?
Sleeper player of the week. I wouldn't say he's a sleeper, but Maryland's quarterback, the true freshman Malik Washington, he had a great game. They killed Wisconsin.
They destroyed him.
I think the final score was like 27-10 or something like that.
It really was like 27-3 almost. And they just got that garbage time touchdown. So
Yeah. But no, he played great. He has a lot of promise. Maryland's a fun program, man. They're 4-0. I know they got off to a hot start last year as well. So we're gonna pump the brakes.
They're hosting Michigan
but I am
this year,
keeping
right?
my eye on them. Yeah, they are hosting Michigan this year. We will be there. We will be loud. And then I believe this week, who do they have? They have another tough opponent, but I think now their schedule kind of gets a little tough. So it'll be interesting to see how Malik Washington does going forward. But Malik Washington, shout out to you. You had a great week, great game. Huge W for the program. Huge.
That's a great pick, by the way. Super underrated pick. I got John Henry Daly, who's probably not sleeper player, that DN for Utah.
Yeah.
Added another sack to his tally. Still the sack leader in the country. Leading. I'm super exciting to watch. This guy is always a problem. Utah front seven is always.
Oh, he's a sophomore.
He's good. He looked scary. And the sack happened to be a sack fumble, too. Texas Tech recovers it. I mean, obviously, it was inside their own 10. So if Utah recovers that, completely different game. But defense always looks good. Utah defense, man.
Yeah.
John Henry Daly, sleeper player of the week. All right.
Love that name.
So next week, we have not only do we have a crazy slot of games,
Oh,
but I'm hoping, and I don't want to give you guys, empty promises here, but I'm hoping that we can at least record our Penn State visit this coming weekend for the Penn State Oregon game. That's going to be a whiteout under the lights. That's going to be Brandon's first ever college football experience.
Let's go. We are.
We are Penn State.
It's as simple as that. And we're gonna film. No. Alex, we're gonna film, and we're gonna put College Game Day to shame, because College Game Day is gonna be there, and it's a game of the week. Come on, under the lights,
actually,
white
do
out.
you know? It hasn't been announced yet, has it?
Done.
Has it been announced? I don't think it's been announced.
So.
But I'm hoping.
But,
fingers crossed.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
I'm sure. I'm sure Fox will do it there, right?
And one of them.
Yeah.
They're like, come on.
One of them.
Yeah, that game is
but
circled on
we'll try to
everybody's
record it for you
fucking-
guys and get you guys at least some highlights from our trip up and our experience tailgating and everything. So please tune in for that. But until next time, peace out, guys.